Coming up on this week's podcast, we look at the season review of how our teams have fared this season, plus a look at how Man City won the league. There's an award ceremony, some wonders of why, and who am I, so let's get started. Hello and welcome to a new episode of View from the Sideline podcast. It's Chris here and Liam is here as well. Hello Liam.
Evening Chris, how are you?
Yeah, kind of glad it's all over.
Yeah, all done for another year.
Yeah, I mean, it has crept up, I must say. Like the last game, it only feels like a week ago. We still had sort of 10, 11 games left. So, yeah, it seems like a bit of a mad rush towards the end of the season. But yeah, a season. We're going to go into our teams in a minute anyway, but a season of mixed emotions on my part anyway. But yeah, I guess the table's all done now. I mean, Sheffield United, Luton and Burnley all down.
Yeah.
It's going to be I was thinking about it, and I think one of the most competitive leagues must be the Championship.
Oh, yeah.
The amount of teams in there that have played in the Premier League before and have gone down and have just not come back up. Very interesting.
One of Southampton or Leeds isn't.
That's huge, isn't it? That game's huge. I do think Southampton are going to win. I've just got a feeling that. I think that they've towards the end of the season. I feel like they look like the strongest, and I did predict that they would win the playoffs. So I'm going to stick with that.
You might be right, and obviously they beat Leeds on the last game of the season, didn't they?
So that's going to be in their minds, isn't it?
Yeah, psychologically that's a big advantage.
So I think that's Sunday. Is it Sunday? I think that game is.
Is it Sunday? Isn't it? Yeah, Sunday or the bank holiday Monday. I can't remember which, but yeah.
Soon. So the other playoffs, Crawley beat Crewe, didn't they, in the League 2 playoff final, and I think Bolton lost, didn't they, to Oxford?
They did. Oxford will be in the championship next year.
Yeah. I saw the Oxford because everyone keeps putting memes up about their ground.
Yeah.
They don't have a stand, do they, on one of the ends?
It's a definite car park, but fair play to it. It's the highest they've been for a long, long time. So it'll be good to see them sort of back in that.
That's pretty quite weird as a player going to play there though, when you're so used to week in, week out playing almost in like a rectangular box to go in to play there, like shooting and you can see the motorway.
Yeah, cars.
Okay, well, I think we'll just quickly look at Man City about obviously how they won the league. We never doubted them, did we, Liam?
Never.
I think we predicted that they would win the league, and even I think when they were 3 or 4 points behind Arsenal, we both felt fairly confident that they would go on and win it. And I must say they've probably won the league this season, and they've probably not even been at their very best.
No.
I think there's been a few times this season where they've just scraped the wins through, but they've ended up scoring more goals than Arsenal.
It was
4 off 100. It's not like Haaland has actually scored a huge amount of goals this season, has he? He's got 27. They've had a lot of players. By his standards, that's quite low. So.
Yeah, it's been an interesting season for them because they didn't have the greatest of starts. But I think we said at the time, they always pick up after Christmas. They've got a habit of just going on a winning streak from sort of December, January time, and that's obviously what we've seen. You do have to feel a little bit sorry for Arsenal having their highest points total for many, many years and still coming second, it's still not being good enough. But that is how
Oh
good
yeah,
the big
I
City
mean,
these days.
even in the last 10 games of the season, Man City only got 3 more points than Arsenal did. So,
Yeah.
it was very close, very, very close. And, it's Liverpool obviously tailed off, towards the end of the season. But even looking forward to next season, Man City and Arsenal, head and shoulders are better than any of the other teams in the league. You've got to put them as early favourites for next season as well. They're both likely to strengthen in the summer.
Yeah, it's hard to see for City where they might actually strengthen because there's no real Arsenal. It was very obvious they didn't have a central striker. And Havertz did a good job at the end of the season. He obviously chipped in with a few goals, much to your unhappiness, Chris, I'm sure. But they did showcase the kind of player that he can be. But they still lacked that person that's going to get them 20, 25 goals a season. So that's very obvious. But it's harder to see for Man City where they actually need strengthening because obviously you're not going to get any better than Haaland up front.
No.
You're not going to get any better than a centre midfield that contains De Bruyne and Rodri. And as for a sort of centre-back pairing, I know he's sort of rotated one of the centre-halves this year, but Ruben Diaz is probably up there with the best in the world at the moment. I think if they're going to strengthen anywhere, it might be the defence. But even so, they've got Vardiol, who was a bit of a rotation option to begin with, but he's had a really good second half of the season. I don't really see where they've gone wrong, where they need to place. It's going to be a case, I think, of just bringing more squad players and more depth for them.
I think that their centre-backs, they've got Akanji, Ake, Diaz, John Stones and Gvardiol, I think, is an out-and-out centre-back. I think he's just been playing sort of out wide because there's nowhere else for him to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are right. Where do they actually strengthen that squad? And it will more than likely be sort of squad players. And I guess it really depends on what they're going to do with the likes of Jack Grealish.
Yeah.
Mateus Nunes really hasn't played that much.
No. Like Phillips will obviously try and find a new home, I think. And, they'll some of the rotation options this year, I guess, will look to play regular football elsewhere. Or I guess they might be happy, they're winning titles even if they're only playing 15, 20 games a season. But I suppose it'll all depend on who they sell. And it will depend on whether these financial restrictions or points deductions, whatever is coming their way. I suppose it depends where it happens, I guess.
Well, I guess a lot of people have probably forgotten about that and see what's going to happen to them. I think they did say that they were going to announce, at the end of the season, what's going to happen.
It's too late for the other teams, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it's whether they. I don't know. I think they might have probably gotten away with it, if I'm honest.
I could see it happening. I genuinely could. I mean, for it to have gone on this long, there must be something stopping them from pulling the trigger and saying, here's the points deduction, or, here is the final agreement. There's obviously something that's stopping them, or whether it's a case that they're looking at all of the charges individually, and that obviously does take a long time. It's not like Everton or Forest where it was 1 or 2 charges. It's 115.
Yeah.
Or take 115 times longer, possibly. I don't know. But they can't draw it out much longer because I think, people are already getting fed up. So, who knows what'll happen there.
Let's talk about Aston Villa then. I mean, you must be happy. I can't.
Not a good performance at the weekend. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I think just
over that.
But to be fair, you ended the season how you started the season, really.
Yeah. Started with a 6-1 defeat and ended
everything in between was pretty much perfect. So
it's obviously been a really positive season. I sort of predicted at the start of the year that if we were to get Europa League, that is an improvement on the Conference League last season. I would have been happy with that. I couldn't see us finishing above really Newcastle. I know they've been blighted with injuries. I'm going to come on to that a little bit later. Man United disappointed me this season. I was just thinking there's some really strong teams in there. For us to come in the top four is going to be a huge ask. But we managed to cling on and didn't win in the last 4 games, but didn't need to. Luckily, teams hit poor form when they needed to from our perspective. So I think the early season run that we went on, where we were never challenging for the title, but we were up on the same points as your Man Cities and Arsenals, and we were up with them. That's obviously put us in a really good position for the second half of the season. I think for us now, it's just going to be a case of we're struggling with financial fair play. It's going to be a case of, I think we need to sell before we bring people in, and it's going to be how many people we can get through the door, because next season I think could be as long as this year, and I think we were just tiring towards the end of the season. Played a lot of games, had a lot of injuries, so players were playing Sunday, Thursday for weeks on end, and it just caught up with us a little bit in the end. But to lose 5-0 on the last day and 6-1 in the first game of the season, and to still have a goal difference of plus 15 is pretty incredible for us. And to score 76 goals, it's the most we've scored for many years. I think, if not the most, I think we've ever scored in the Premier League. So very, very happy. Long may it continue, and bring on next year, I guess. I mean, the Champions League, we've not been in it in my lifetime, so with the new format, you never know what can happen.
No, I mean, I mean, no one can deny how well you've been, this season. And to be fair, like you said, you've scored a lot of goals. I know Watkins has chipped in with quite a few, but it's the games against the bigger clubs where you've probably shone.
We had the best record against the top 4 out of all 4. If there was a mini league of all of us, we would have come top of that league. We beat Arsenal.
I'm thinking back to the Arsenal game, probably, what was it, 2 months ago?
Yeah, we had beaten twice, home and away, didn't concede a goal, beat Man City as well at Christmas, and that was probably the standout performance of the season, really, because we outplayed them. Which, seasons gone by, especially when we were struggling near the bottom, we might come up with the odd result against a better side, but generally we've had poor records against Liverpool, Man City, Man United, all of those big clubs. We've had, Chelsea. You mentioned the 8-0 on a weekly basis, but that was a regular occurrence for us back then. So to be competing with those teams, it's just nice to have us back being competitive again.
You're going to do this with Chelsea as well, but I think I'm just going to go through your team and see what you think is going to happen next year.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got a few choices. You can keep, sell, or loan.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do it in positions. I've just taken this team off Wikipedia, by the way, so if their name's in the first squad, it's there. Emi Martinez.
He's got to stay, hasn't he? He's the world number 1, so yeah.
Matty Cash.
Cash is difficult because I think to get where we need to go, he probably has to be sold. So I'll put faith in Emery that he's going to bring in another right back. Obviously, we can't sell him unless we get another one in. So I'll say sell, and I think we'll be in the market for a right back.
Okay. Diego Carlos.
It's difficult. I think it's between him and Mings as to who goes. I think sell Diego Carlos.
He's listed as a vice captain. Is that correct? He's one of the vice captains. Is that correct?
I have no idea, to be honest, Chris. I don't. We've had that many injuries this year. Why not?
Konsa.
Keep 100%. Yeah.
You've just said Mings. I'm assuming you're going to keep.
Yeah, I think. He's been out injured, so that's why I think he might be in the running to be sold. But I would personally rather get him back to fitness over summer, than keep Carlos. I think they're about the same age. I think it'll be one or the other, but it's just my preference to keep Mings, I think.
Douglas Luiz.
Oh, we've got to keep him. Yeah, if he goes, it'll be for a big offer, but I don't think we'll get anyone that big, so I think he'll stay.
John McGinn.
We've got to stay. We're not a Aston Villa in the Premier League without John McGinn at the moment, so yeah.
Tielemans.
Had a bit of a dodgy start to the season, but for a free transfer, the second half of the season alone was probably up there for signing of the season, certainly for us. So I will absolutely keep him.
Buendia.
That's tricky because he's been injured for a year. I think I'd like to see what he can do under Emery, so I think keep him.
Watkins.
I'm not having him go to Man United of all teams. I know it's in all the papers at the moment, but no, he's staying.
Diaby.
Yeah, keep him. We've only had him a year. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet, but he's got a chance next season.
Duran.
Yeah, this one gets really tricky because I think Callum Archer's coming back because I think we put a clause in that said he came back to us if Sheffield United got relegated. We don't need 3 strikers, but I'm going to say keep Duran and Archer can go out on loan or hold.
Olsen.
Get rid of him. I mean, yeah, he's not had a good season for us. He's not played that many games.
Was he in goal yesterday?
He was in goal yesterday. Yeah, of course he was. Yeah, sell Olsen.
Morgan Rogers.
I'll keep him. Yeah, he's only been with us a few months.
This one I'm not. He's Kane Kessler Hayden.
Yeah,
he's listed as a first team player. I'm not sure if he's actually first team. But
he played a couple of games at the end of the season. He was out on loan at the start of the season, and he came back. Played a handful of games. He's getting to the age now where we're going to have to make a decision, but I think we keep him for another year because he's going to help us with the homegrown quota for the Champions League.
Courtney House.
I feel sorry for him, but he's only played a handful of games over the last 3 years, so I think it's time for him to go. I think he's out of contract, to be fair, so I think he might.
Leon Bailey.
I'll keep him. I love him. What a man.
Jacob Ramsey.
Unfortunately, I think he's going to have to be sold to stick within financial rules. So I don't want him to go, but I think he will go, and I think it'll be for 35, 40 million, something like that.
Kamara.
Got to keep him. We massively missed him when he was out injured, so yeah, he stays.
Digne.
It's tricky now because again, I think we're in the market for a left back, so it's going to be him or Moreno to go. I'm going to say keep Digne because he's had a good year.
Pau Torres.
Keep him. Yeah, he's done well for us this season.
Moreno.
Moreno, I think, can be the one to leave.
Okay. Chambers.
Chambers can go. It made a difference when he came on against Liverpool, but for some reason we put him in attacking midfield basically, and it just stopped Liverpool from passing out the back. But yeah, I think it was his last game for us at the weekend.
Who else have we got here? Kellyman.
I'll keep him. He's star boy. So you tell me via Football Manager anyway.
Yeah. Oh no, this one's really difficult. Tim.
Yeah, he can stay. Tim can stay. I think he played a few games for us at the end of the year, so I think again homegrown quota for next season.
Okay, I've got 4 more names here.
Yeah,
but we'll see what you say. Coutinho.
Yeah, I think he's already agreed a deal to go. But yeah, I'd love to have seen him play well in a Villa shirt, but it's not happening.
Dendoncker.
Yeah, he can go as well.
And the last 2, do you think you'll buy them? It's Langley and Zaniolo.
I don't think we're going to keep either of them. Zaniolo wants to go back to Italy, I think, and Longley's just not been great. But yeah.
I've got here. Sanson.
Yeah, he can go. I don't know. He might have activated a clause while he's been out on loan. I'm not sure, but he can go either way.
Okay. That's all that I had down listed.
Nice. It's going to be a lot longer list when we get to Chelsea.
I was about to say, yeah, I'll keep my review quite short and sweet because it's going to take us about 20 minutes to get.
Yeah, I mean, I think
through the team.
You've got 2 teams out on loan, so yeah.
Lovely. Okay, so Chelsea, up, down, up, down, up, down, finished up. I guess we hit form at the right. Do you know what the turning point was? It was against Villa.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was when you brought Robin Olsen on. We actually started scoring goals.
Yeah.
It was the game. Obviously, we lost to Arsenal 5-0, and then we played you guys. We 2-0 down at half time.
Mm-hmm.
Something must have been said at half time because whatever was said or whatever the players have done, it's worked. And I know, you know, you're going to look at our fixtures and say you have Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Brighton, West Ham, Tottenham. I mean, these are teams that we were losing to
Yeah.
at the start of the season. So, you know, I mean, much improved. And I would go as far as to say the season's finished, I think, for us too early.
Yeah.
I think we could have done with either picking up this form sort of 2 or 3 games before, or having still got 2-3 games. Because I honestly think we would have finished 5th. I think had we had 2 or 3 more games left,
yeah,
I think we would have leapfrogged Tottenham.
Yeah,
it's just unfortunate. I think they were playing Sheffield United on the last day of the season.
Yeah.
And I can't even say to you, hand on heart, that I think they'll go into next season with these sorts of results, because it's because of the way that we've played this season. I never know from kickoff how it's going to end. You know, 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, say, oh, we'll probably lose this one, we'll probably win this one. This season, you know, we've got good results against Man City. You know,
yeah, played
games
well
where I thought we would never probably get a point, and then there's been games like against Sheffield United and Burnley where we drew.
Yeah.
So it's just been very up and down season, but we've peaked at the right time, and you know, it was only probably about 3 or 4 months ago, Liam, on the podcast, that we were sat in sort of 11th place, 12 points behind 6th place. So, and the fact is that since Christmas, we've picked up the 3rd most amount of points in the league.
Yeah, which is exactly what Villa did last season, and obviously look what's happened to us this year. You know, Champions League qualification just goes to show that the form that you end the season on can impact next season. So
yeah, it's going to be a real test of where they go over the summer. You know, with Thiago Silva leaving, I mean, even at 39, that's a huge loss for us.
Yeah,
because he's been by far our best since probably John Terry. He's been our best defender since Terry.
Gary Cahill.
So, you know, we're still leaking goals. I'd say that's probably the main focus over the summer. It's just to tighten things up a bit at the back. Because we look so nervous. When teams are running at us, sometimes I just think to myself, they ain't got a clue what they're doing there.
No. I mean, you scored actually one more goal than we did in the end. You scored 77.
Yeah. I mean, like,
although we've moaned at Jackson, I think, a lot this season, you've not done bad going forward, considering you haven't.
You know, he's taken a lot of flack, this season. You know, he's finished on 14 goals, which is probably it's more than Drogba scored in his first season at Chelsea.
Yeah.
I'm not comparing the two by any means, but I'm just saying, you know, sometimes it does, unless you're Erling Haaland, it takes a season to settle in, I reckon.
Yeah.
So yeah, Cole Palmer, you know, if you combine goals and assists, he's got more than anyone this season. So, yeah, I hate to think where we would be without him.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a completely different conversation. But I think the main thing is that we've qualified for Europe. I think it eases the manager's position. I don't want him to go. I think, if we're building this young squad for the future, there's no point chopping and changing your manager after a season when he's built up his own style of play, which has worked. And to be fair, without Enzo Fernandez, we've been playing a lot better, which, which I think says a lot. But yeah, we'll see what happens over the summer. We've already signed a player. I mean, it didn't take too long, did it? Everyone's saying FFP and stuff, and we're going and buying another Brazilian wonder kid. So, I don't know. Another one, yeah. And apparently this one's not going out on loan, so.
Interesting.
It's Stavio, I think he's called. Stavio. So yeah, we'll see what happens to that. But yeah, I'm pleased with how we ended.
Yeah.
Like I said, glad we're in Europe. Hopefully the Europa League. I'm not. To be fair, I can't really complain whichever one we're in, because 2-3 months ago we were staring down the barrel of nothing. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you were looking at the season with Brighton and Bournemouth, and it did quickly turn into actually, we put a run together. Yeah. I mean, we're looking at Man United a couple of weeks ago, and then going into the last game to be sort of looking at Spurs thinking we could get you there. It is a fair achievement.
That's probably the most pleasing thing, I think, is the fact that, sort of 4 months ago we were about 14, 15 points behind Spurs. So yeah, no, I'm pleased, and if we're in Europa, look, go for it, because it's an easy ticket into the Champions League. So
it's a competition you could do well in.
Yeah, so my main worry is that we struggle sometimes to play week in, week out with injuries. So we're essentially going to need 2 teams, but you're going to go through that now.
Yeah. So should we keep sell or loan?
We shall.
Let's start. So I'm going to do the same as you did. I'm going to look your team up on Wikipedia. I'm going to run through the list. So if anyone's missing, you can blame whoever's editing the Chelsea Wikipedia page. So we'll start from the top, and we'll go with Robert Sanchez.
Oh, this is a difficult one.
He's not played that much towards the end of the year, has he?
He got the injury killed him, didn't it? It literally did his thing. The strange thing is we've got Kepa coming back.
Yeah.
So Kepa's not going to want. I think Kepa's going to want to leave because he's going to want to be number one, and I don't see anyone taking it away from Petrovic at the moment. So Sanchez, I'll say keep.
Okay, interesting. Next one, Dizazi.
Oh.
You do have, I mean, I know Silva is leaving, but you do have quite
we've got a wealth of players at the back.
Yeah.
The thing is, he's got a mistake in him, but I can't see us selling him after just buying him last season. So keep.
Cool. Cucurella.
Oh, it's hard on this one.
Because with a fit Ben Chilwell, he's not going to get in.
Yeah, and he's actually played really well. When he's played this season, he has played well. I think the main thing is we're not going to recoup the money that we spent on him. But I am going to say sell.
Oh, he filled in midfield against Villa, and he's actually played really well.
This seems to be a recurring theme with the tactics at the moment, is having the left back or the right back fill in midfield when you're going forward. So, but with a fully fit Chilwell, I just don't see where we've got so many centre back. I know you can play centre back, but we've got enough of them. I would just say sell. Just get what you can for him. We'll still get 30, 40 million for him, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of centre backs, Badiashile.
Yeah, keep.
Keep. Right.
100%. I think he's the one this season where I can just see something in him. I think he's really strong.
Yeah.
He's not. I know he's made a mistake or two, but he doesn't look flustered when he's on the ball. I feel when Dizazi's on the ball, for me, he always feels like quite clunky when he's got the ball at his feet. So, but I think Badiashile is the one for the future. But yeah, keep.
We're going to skip over Thiago Silva because we know what's happening there. He will be leaving at the end of the season. So we'll go straight on to quite a difficult one, I think. Raheem Sterling.
Yeah. It's just, I think, yeah, no, Sal. I do like him, but I just don't see where he fits in at the moment. And I think more for him. I think he could easily get into 80% of the teams in the league. It's just one of those positions for us which is just overcrowded.
Yeah, I mean, I would happily take him at Villa if he wanted to take a pay cut, and But
yeah. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I don't want him to go. I don't know.
He's not been the Sterling that was at Man City.
No, and I think unfortunately for him, I don't think he's going to get in the Euro squad. I mean, the last couple of games he's played quite well. He played well yesterday, but I don't. Do you see him going to the Euro? I don't think he'll get in the squad. He hasn't been in the squad for a year, has he? So.
No, I don't think he's in. No.
I'm going to say Sir. I'm going to go with my first.
Raheem. Yeah. Next is Enzo Fernandez.
In my honest opinion, keep.
Yeah.
Because he is a good player. He's a young player.
Yeah.
There's no point selling him because we ain't going to get any money back for him. And plus, he's on like an 8-year contract. So
it has to work for him, doesn't it? Like, you set him up so that it has to literally work, or he's going to go on a free in 8 years' time, and we're going to say, "Oh yeah, I forgot he was still at Chelsea. He hasn't played a game for 4 years."
I think he's one. I don't know. I think he's had really good games, but then he's had some real poor games. But he's been injured like last sort of four months. He's been in and out of school because he's injured, which is why I think he's an operation now. So
give him another year. See what happens.
Yeah.
So speaking of inconsistencies, Mikhailo Mudryk, what are you doing with him?
Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes when there's just a glimmer of what he can do. I just think he needs to settle in. I'll keep him. Again, I don't think we'd get the right money for him anyway. So
next up then is Noni Madueke.
100% keep.
He had a really good end to the year, didn't he?
I've been out of all of our wingers. In fact, I'll go as far to say he's literally just behind Cole Palmer, I think, in my players where I think we should keep. He's right up there, 100%.
Okay, someone who I think might be right at the bottom then, Marcus Bettinelli, who I totally forgot still plays for you.
I mean, he's done really well on the bench this season.
Yeah.
He really props up that the English. I'd keep him. It makes
no sense to get rid of him, right?
He does what you need him to do, and that's literally he fills the quota of English players.
Yeah, and he's got to be some like coaching or something in the background.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's been there for about 3 years now, I think.
Yeah, it's like, because I know that Guardiola always says that he just keeps Scott Carson around because he just entertains everybody else. So there's got to be some kind of element.
He's leaving though, isn't he? I saw Carson.
Oh, is he?
He's out of contract this summer, yeah. So I don't know what they're going to
do. Next up, number 14, Trevor Chalobah, and we're not even halfway through yet.
Oh yeah, keeping
Chalobah. Yeah. Are you going to give Nick Jackson another year?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I've
Yeah.
seen enough. I've seen enough
Okay. Nice.
for him to want to stay. Yeah.
So Nick Jackson stays. Next on the list is Leslie Ogachukwu.
Yeah, he's just come back from injury. Came on as a sub last 2 games. Again, it's a very, very crowded midfield. I'd probably send him out on loan, I think.
Yeah, fair
Maybe
enough.
to one of the French teams for a year, because he's not in the pecking order. He's not in the top 4, I don't think. Even 5, I think, for the position he plays.
Yeah, maybe go back to Rennes or something for a season.
Yeah, for a season.
If you wanted to send this guy back to his old club, then by all means, Carney Chukwuemeka.
I don't know what's going to happen to him. I honestly don't. He's
an enigma, isn't he?
played well, and then he got injured. Just like half the squad got injured. And then he came back for like 2 games, and then he got re-injured, and he's been injured since.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have to go out on loan.
Fair enough.
I don't see him I don't see him fully fit, getting enough minutes to please him.
Yeah, I think he's on 100 grand.
The irony is he left Villa because he wasn't going to get first football. I maybe in the next sort of 2-3 years, maybe, but I think he's going to have to go out and get game time, because I just don't see him getting it at Chelsea.
Yeah. Nkunku takes us to halfway.
100%.
Keeping him.
Keep him, yeah.
I mean, you've got a new player next season already.
Oh yeah. He's been last sort of 3-4 games. He's been involved. He hasn't started a game yet, just because he was out for so long, and then he came back, and then he was out for another 2 months. So, I think he'll be one to watch next season. I really do. I think him, Jackson, and Palmer will have something special next season.
Well, we're on to a keep list, I think, for the next few players. So I'm going to whiz through these. And we're just going to say keep, and I'm going to move on to the next one. So, Cole Palmer.
Keep.
Ben Chilwell.
Keep.
Conor Gallagher.
100% keep.
Just want to say that he's rumoured with Aston Villa in the gossip today.
Yeah, let's not. I cannot stress enough how much he needs to stay.
Reece James, I have a feeling.
He really let the team down the other day, I'm not going to lie. Obviously keep. He's going to miss the first miss the first 2 games of the season as well, because we were sending off. Stupid.
That one. But you also got the goal of the season. No, you didn't. Garnacho did. But Caicedo should have got goal of the season. He
got robbed. Can I just say he got robbed? Because that was by far a better goal.
Yeah.
We're been probably our best player last 6-7 games.
Yeah, so he definitely stayed. Now one, I don't know whether I don't know, this could go either way. Levi Colwill.
Because he's got, because I don't know if they did an interview with John Terry about 2-3 weeks ago, and he said that Levi Colwill is the future of Chelsea Football Club, right? A fully fit Levi Colwill starts. I'm going to say keep.
Okay. I think that's probably a good call, actually. Malo Gusto.
100% keep. I mean, Reece James hasn't been there all season, and he's only 21, Gusto.
Yeah, I don't think he expected to start much this season.
It was his birthday. It was his birthday yesterday for the game. I mean, he's so good at going forward.
Yeah.
He reads the game really well. Yeah, keep.
Petrovic.
Yeah, keep.
Keep.
Be pretty pleased with him, yeah.
He's done alright. Cesare Casadei.
He's been involved in the last few games this season.
Yeah, and he was obviously a tester, and he did well until you recalled
it. They brought him back. They pulled him back because they wanted him playing. Keep. I don't think he needs to go out on loan.
Wesley Fofana.
I don't know when he's back.
No, I don't know. I was just trying to look at when his injury due to happen, and there's no. Could be any time.
I would if he if he's fit over the summer, I honestly don't know because I don't. He's played a few games. He's done all right, but you got to say Poch has not seen a lot of them, has he? Really, when you think about it,
No.
Spent huge money on him though. He's always injured.
Yeah.
I would say loan. Just find somewhere for him to go for a season to get fit again.
I mean, Leicester are coming back up. I'm sure they'd probably, if he was fit, I'm sure they'd take him back on loan.
Yeah, I'm saying just for a season or something. Just because he's hardly. I think he's played like 2 or 3 games this season. But
next up, a guy who I don't think has played for you at all, David Washington.
Oh yeah, he's been on the bench a few times. Loan.
Yeah, I mean I didn't realise he was. Yeah, he's only 18. So
He's been on the subs. But he's come on in a few games, but not many.
Alfie Gilchrist, he's come on a few times recently.
Yeah, no, yeah, I think he's been injured actually the last few games, so he hasn't been involved as much. I think that the thing with him is, I mean, I think he's actually a centre back. He's not actually a right back. He's been playing at right back when he's been playing, but they're not going to loan him out because they've made him a first team player like a month or so ago. And I think they're keen on him.
Yeah.
And he could potentially fill in the Cucurella left back position, I guess.
Yeah.
Cucurella was to go, yeah, so keep.
Diego Moreira.
I don't even know where he's at the moment. He went out on loan, he came back and he went back out on loan. He's another young one, so loan.
Another loan to him. Romeo Lavia, who again, totally forgot that you had him.
I think he's played like 52 minutes of football for us this season.
Much.
I mean, he comes with a high reputation from Southampton. From what I've seen him at Southampton, he looks like a really solid player. I would keep.
Yeah.
If he can get over this injury, keep.
Now, the one player on your side without a number, Malang Sarr, is the last one.
Yeah, there's a reason he ain't got a number.
Yeah.
I actually don't know where he is. If I'm honest, he's definitely not been turning up to train because I think he was training with the under 21s. I think he refused to go out on loan. I think that was the issue. So yeah, they didn't even give him a squad number. Well, just get rid of him. If he's not, yeah. If he has to go out on a free, let him go on free.
I mean, you've got, I don't even know how many players out on loan. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yeah, 20, I think about 20 to 22 players out on loan. So I'm going to skip over all the players that are playing at League One or below and just are a keep and loan out again scenario, if that's okay. So we'll start with Kepa, because he's at Real Madrid.
Yeah, I thought it was always a strange one that they let him go in the first place, if I'm honest.
Because he'd had a run in the first team.
Yeah, the thing is, he has played a lot for Real Madrid, because obviously Courtois' been injured. He did get injured himself. I don't think he's going to want to play for Chelsea, so I think they'll find somewhere for him. But I mean, he's the most expensive goalkeeper in the world, so I mean, I think he's going to have to go out on loan because we ain't going to get that money back.
No. You've got then 3 goalkeepers, one at Gateshead, one at Concord, and one at Oxford United. I suppose that they got promoted, didn't they? Jamie Cumming, he's on loan at Oxford United.
Oh right, yeah. Loan him out.
Loan him out again. Okay.
Yeah.
Gabriel Slonina.
Yeah, he's another one I think that they bought in because he was young. Yeah, you're gonna have to loan him out because
Out again. Bashir Humphreys. I'm thinking there might be a theme here.
Yeah. Where's he? But he's been
He's been at Swansea, but he is 21 now.
Loan.
Another loan. Interesting one. Ian Matson, been on loan at Dortmund this season.
Yeah, see, that's the other thing. You got him coming back. and he's a left back by trade.
Yeah.
But I think he's had a taste of it now, of playing first team football for Dortmund, so he's going to probably think that he can play first team in most places. I think Dortmund are going to buy him. So if they come in with a good bid, then sell.
Tino Angerin.
That's it. Sell or loan, doesn't matter.
Yeah. Lewis Hall, I think, is already going to go to Newcastle.
Yeah, so I think he has already signed, so I think that's a done deal. I mean, we got £30 million of free money there, so.
Interesting one, because he did well for Ipswich this season. Amari Hutchinson.
Yeah, I think they'll let him go back out on loan there, you know.
Yeah, rather than a run. Okay.
I think Ipswich will probably be keen to keep him, so yeah.
Okay, then we've got Dion Rankin on loan at Exeter City, so I'll skip over him. Andre Santos next on loan at Strasbourg.
Yeah, so he was at Forest, wasn't he? And then they brought back.
Yeah.
Strasbourg's an easy place now for they're our new Vitesse. So
oh, are they? So we're going to have a lot of people on loan at Strasbourg next week.
Yeah, because they're owned by the same people. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would just say let him go back out on loan.
Another loan for next season. Charlie Webster has been on loan at Heerenveen. He's not played that much, but they are in the top Dutch division, so
loan.
A loan for him. He's another 20-year-old. I feel I know the answer to this one. Hakim Ziyech.
Oh my word! Yeah, sell.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's actually got a clause in Gallagher.
No, I'm not sure.
For them by the looks of things. Armando Broja next.
Sell.
Broja. I think that'll sign him for someone like a new team in the Premier League or something. I think he'd do a good job for them. Mason Burstow on loan at Sunderland this season. He's a forward who's scored 1 goal in 20 appearances.
Yeah, I mean, sell.
So, Datro Fofana did quite well initially at Burnley.
Yeah. I think he'll be loaned back out again.
He is, 21, so still.
Yeah, he can go back to Burnley for a season if he wants.
Angelo Gabriel on loan at Strasbourg as well.
He's another
one.
Yeah. Let him go back there. Yeah.
21 games, 0 goals for Strasbourg this season.
Yeah, they can go back there.
Then the big one, the big question: Romelu Lukaku. What do you do with a problem like him?
The thing is, he's everything that we need in a striker, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you put him and Drogba next to each other, you got great in the air and strong.
Yeah.
And you can even put Diego Costa in that bracket as well. Those are the strikers that have worked for us in the past. He should have been that player for us. He should have been the player that scored 20, 25 goals a season, right?
Yeah.
But I have no idea what they're going to do with him.
No. He got 15 goals for you.
Yeah, I mean, he's scoring goals. That's the thing. He is scoring goals, and he's been out for a bit as well this season because he's been injured. But promise, I don't think they're going. I don't know where. I don't see where he fits into this squad with Poch. This is what I'm saying. All these first team players that are out on loan, I guess for Poch, they're going to be like new players for him.
Yeah.
I think with Lukaku, I would say, let's just, on that one, I'm going to put it on hold. I'm going to see if he takes part in pre-season.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the Chelsea list, unless we want to go into the under-21 squad, who have quite a lot of other players on the bench this season.
Yeah, no. I mean, a lot of them have had to fill in, so they've had another choice.
Yeah, but yeah, it's another long list of players, so I'm not going to go into that in too much detail.
Is there Atcha Pamayong? Is he still on? Is he on the under 21 list?
He is.
He was the one that came on against Tottenham. He played really well actually when he came on against Tottenham.
Yeah, 18 years old. That was his only appearance this season. But
yeah, no, he did really well actually when he looked strong when he came on. So
yeah,
I'd get him out on loan somewhere. Right. Well, yeah, that took a long time.
that's a lot of players.
That Chelsea team is a long list. This is what I mean. I don't know if they're even going to buy it much because they've spent a lot of money already, and this team, like you said, is one that they're going to grow into. So we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, that is it for part one. We're back in part two, where me and Liam are going to give out some awards. Unfortunately, no one's turned up to the awards ceremony apart from me and Liam. I got some Wonders of White and Who Am I? You ready to go straight into it, mate?
Yeah, let's do it.
Probably do it a bit different. I'll do the two things first, and then we'll do the awards at the end. All right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Hello, and welcome back to part two of this week's episode. We're almost there, Liam. Always at the end of season awards. I'm in my tuxedo, ready.
Looking very smart.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best Gary Lineker impression at Sports Personality of the Year.
The trophies are currently being shined, but I've got some Wonders of White, and these Wonders of White are seasonal Wonders of White, so they are about stats from this season.
Nice.
So first up, he says, and he's not got any of them in front of him. So there was 1,602 yellow cards in the Premier League this season. That's the most by almost 200 since the 98-99 season, where there was 1,404.
There you go.
They reckon that this is a crackdown on discipline, such as time wasting.
Yeah, there has been a lot more for time wasting.
Rules, yeah. They are clamping down on that. Next one. Of the 380 league games this season, there were 11 nil-nils, which is the lowest since the 1931-32 season.
Oh, that's not bad going, to be fair. There has been a lot of goals this season.
Oh yeah, well you think top two have scored 90 plus goals each, haven't they? So, yep. We've had 298 different goal scorers in the Premier League this season. That again is more than any other season previous. The last time was 91-92, where there was 289. Now I think Newcastle had the most as well. They had the most individual goal scorers. And then lastly, so this is days spent at the top of the Premier League this season. So Liverpool actually spent the most days at top with 87 days. Manchester City was second with 77. Arsenal third with 76. Tottenham were fourth with 26. Brighton were fifth with 7. Newcastle sixth with 6. And West Ham were top of the league for 2 days this season.
Nice.
And they've sacked their manager.
Oh.
Yeah, they were the only. So there was only 7 teams that were at the top of the league this season.
There you go.
I can't remember when West Ham were top. Must have been at the start of the season.
Yeah, it must have been early days. Must have been.
Yeah, Brighton were on top for a whole week. So I'm assuming again it was at the very start. Okay, we're going to go into the Who Am I next. So it's a retired player. I'll tell you that now. The career is quite lengthy, and there's been a few loans. I will tell you where the loans are. I can tell you this player retired in 2013.
Okay.
The teams are going to give the nationality away, I will say that. We've got, started his career at AC Milan. Whilst at AC Milan, he went on loan to Monza, Padova, and Avellino. Before then, he went to Slarentina, or Slarenitana. Whilst he was there, he went on loan to Lecco, and then he had spells at Foggia, Arezzo, Catania, before signing for Napoli.
Okay.
He then went on loan to Brescia and Avellino, and then CFR Cluj, before signing for Cluj, and ending his career at Trento.
So he's obviously Italian.
That's correct.
Ended his career in 2013.
He played a total of 259 career games. He was an attacking midfielder, scoring 53 goals.
Italian attacking midfielder. Went on loan to about every club in Italy.
Yeah.
And played for AC Milan and Napoli.
He did.
It's difficult. I don't really know my Serie A.
I can
watch. And then he went to Cluj. What a weird.
Yeah, he went to Cluj. He went on loan to Cluj. Actually, he was at Napoli for 4 years, but he was on loan for 3 of those years. He went out on loan, but he did play in his first season for Napoli, 33 games. He scored 3 goals.
Okay.
And that was in 2006.
That wasn't a huge success.
I can give you clues if you want clues.
Might need some clues here, Chris.
Okay, he is a current manager.
He's a current manager.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the teams he has managed is Shakhtar Donetsk.
Italian that's managed Shakhtar.
He managed Shakhtar before he managed the club that he's at now.
Struggling slightly. Trying to think of Italian managers these days, and other than the old school Ancelotti, Trapattoni types, it's difficult.
I have loads of clues if you want more clues.
Let's go through some clues. Yeah.
The team he's managing at the moment, he's been managing since 2022, and let me see.
It's going to be someone that is like either the Juventus or the Inter or the AC manager, and I don't know who any of those are at the moment.
I'll give you another clue. He doesn't manage in Italy.
Oh, okay, that's
but
right.
He does manage in one of the top leagues.
Wait, is it? Has he just announced his resignation?
And it looks like he might be going.
The penny may have dropped. Is it De Zerbi?
It's De Zerbi, yeah.
Didn't have a bad career, did he?
No, he did all right actually. I mean, it was very on and off. I mean, I will say this: the teams that he did, the top teams that he signed for, he didn't really stay around for too long. But he ended his career in Serie C with Trento. I don't know what, But when you look at his teams though that he's managed, so he managed the team after he retired in Serie D, and before then then after that he's managed at Foggia, Palermo, Benevento, and Sassuolo, and that was all within about 7 years. He was at 4 different clubs.
Yeah.
He was Shakhtar manager for a year before he went to Brighton.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he's worked his way up managerial wise, because if he started, he's ended there. Fair play to him. Just sort of having a look at.
Well, he looks like he's going to get a pretty decent job now, isn't he? So
his stock's gone up. So who knows? who knows where he's going to end up. Yeah, I didn't realise he actually. I mean, I'm looking at his stats now. He didn't actually play for AC Milan.
No, he did. It's where it is. This is youth.
Yeah,
It's where his youth career.
still, it's he had a. I didn't know he. I mean, I assumed he did play football somewhere, but yeah, I didn't realise he played for actually decent sides in the Italian.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get a top job anyway. He probably deserves it, to be fair. So
yeah.
He's done pretty well. Anyway, let's get on to the awards. So we've each picked a player or a team, and you have come up with the categories. So I'll let you say the categories, and then we can.
Yeah, I will start at the very beginning. I will reveal my team or player, and then I will hand over for your nomination. I don't think we're going to get a collective agreement, so there'll be 2 winners for everything, unless we've both said the same player or team. So we'll start with our award for the most improved team. Now, for many of these awards, I could have gone for Villa for every single one of them, but I've tried to avoid that as much as I can. So my most improved team has gone to Bournemouth because I had them down as relegation favourites, to be honest. So the form that they hit, especially after not having the greatest transfer window, the form they hit in the middle of the year, I know they didn't have a great end to the season, but fair play to them. I think it's their highest finish in the Premier League, or their highest points total, one of them. So that's why I've gone them for most improved team, because they obviously were in a bit of a battle last season at the bottom. So yeah, over to you, Chris.
Yeah, to be fair, Bournemouth were in my thinking for this, but I've actually gone for Crystal Palace.
They did improve,
and that's not just because they spanked you 5-0.
Did improve towards the end of the
season.
Yeah,
I think the thing for them, I think they've improved. I think they're a bit pretty much like Chelsea. I think they didn't lose in their last sort of like 7 games. I think they won 6 of them. They scored loads of goals. And they are much easier on the eye to watch, I think, than what they have previous seasons.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like you said, they finished in the top half in the end, which is some going, because they haven't finished that high, I don't think, for a few seasons now. My worry for them is, I think they're going to lose Elise and Eze. I think that's the worry. If I was a Palace fan, I think you'd be considerably worried that those 2 would go.
Yeah. They were in my thinking as well. The only reason I didn't was because they started the season relatively badly.
Yeah.
And obviously, it wasn't a great way for Hodgson to end at Palace. I think he's done a great job there. But their form didn't really kick in until, like you say, sort of 10 games to go.
Yeah.
So I thought over the season, Bournemouth were just a bit more consistent, I suppose. But it's a good shout for Palace.
Yep.
I'm happy with that. Second award, best signing. Now, I've done this based on where I think the team would be without that player. Mm-hmm. So I know a lot of people are going to say Declan Rice, but at the end of the day, he's not actually improved their position.
No.
Even though he's had a really good season, he's not actually, Arsenal still haven't won anything. So I've gone for Cole Palmer. I know Chelsea haven't won anything either, but you mentioned it earlier. Where would Chelsea be without Palmer this season? And the answer is probably in the bottom half. Where would Arsenal have been without Declan Rice? Well, last season they came second or third. I can't remember which. So it's not been much of an improvement. But yeah, I've gone for Cole Palmer. And again, like you say, most goals and assists. Can't go wrong, really, can you?
I've obviously gone for the same.
I thought you might. We can agree on that one.
Everything that you just said, I think is 100% true. I think when you look at value wise as well for what we pay, we paid a lot of money for players. When you think we only paid about 40 million for him, seems like a bargain, doesn't it, for this day and age to get someone that can score that many goals.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me he's clear of Rice. I think there's only one winner there.
Yeah, there is for us anyway. So well done, Cole Palmer. I'll get your award to you in the post. Worst signing of the season. There are few candidates for this one, to be honest.
I'm going to get hated for this one as well, by the way.
The reason I went for this one was because...
I'm hoping you actually say the same person.
Well, the reason I went for this person was because it was such a statement signing and he had such a reputation, and they then lost him for the entire season due to his betting scandal. So I've gone for Tonali. I don't know what you think, Chris.
I would agree with you on tonight. I actually went for someone else. Although Tonali crossed my mind, I thought I'd go to someone who actually has played pretty much every game this season. I actually went for Onana.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lot of, now, I don't necessarily think it's purely down to him, but I don't think he's not an upgrade on De Gea.
No.
So, for me, it seems like they just wasted money on a player when they could have just kept what they already had.
Yeah.
And he's made some horrendous mistakes this season.
Yeah.
When I was putting my mind back to it, for me, it just seems like they've spent money on something that they just didn't need. I mean, I could have gone for half the Chelsea players as well. But I thought I'd pick someone that actually had played. He's played every game this season, so
yeah,
that's why I went for him.
Fair enough. The next award is for the biggest overachievers in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
So I have gone purely because of their points deduction, and they would have been in mid-table comfortably. I've gone for Everton as the biggest overachievers this year. Everybody expected them to be in a relegation battle till the end, and to have been as far clear as they were after points deductions of, 6, then 10, then 8, and who knows how many points. But to be clear and to have put that behind them, I think is a massive achievement. So I've gone for Everton.
I went for Villa.
Overachieving in the Champions League, that's where we belong, Chris. That's not an overachievement. That's just the standard now. No, I'm happy with that.
Purely on the basis that you improved on last season.
Yeah.
And you're in the Champions League. I think that's a huge deal for Villa. I know they say, you've got the big 6 teams, but Villa are a huge a huge club. I think people forget that. How big they actually are.
Yeah.
And the style of play that you've played, I think everything is just suited and everything's just come together. And I think getting that Champions League spot, I think, kind of cements you as one of the top clubs in the.
I'm happy with that. Hopefully, if we maintain it, it won't look like
don't end up losing all your Champions League games and then then end up going out, because there's no drop into the Europa League anymore. So once you're out, you're out.
The next one is biggest underachieving team.
This was difficult because there was a couple.
I think I know what you've gone for, but I'll reveal at the end. So initially I had Newcastle.
Yeah.
But then I thought that they had a lot of injuries. Their biggest signing was then banned. That wasn't their fault. With the squad they had available, could I really say they'd underachieved? Because they still might get Europe. I thought maybe not. So I went for Brentford because I thought they had been a bit disappointing this year. I know they missed Tony through a ban at the beginning of the season, but they didn't really replace him in summer. They just didn't really do much. I mean, they were never in danger. But I just think I'm so used to seeing Brentford playing really good attacking football. And it just didn't really happen this season. So, yeah, sorry, Brentford fans. I've gone for you for underachieving.
It's exactly the same team I went for.
Oh, nice. Brentford. I thought you were going to go for Man United.
No. I spoke to someone earlier about Man United and I felt sorry because, they've had to play with Maguire and Evans at the back, so I did feel a bit sorry for them. No, I went for Brentford as well. I think, last few seasons they've had, very, very good seasons, and I guess we just expect more from them. I mean, they had Tony out, for the first 6 months of the season, and didn't really kick on when he came back, did they? So
no, they didn't. And the other thing I thought about was Brighton, because they got into Europe last season, and again they played really good football. But then I thought, they're mid-table. But yeah, I don't know. Hopefully Brentford come back a little bit better next season, because I think it's nice that when they play good football, it's really easy to watch. So, player of the season, I couldn't not go for him, mate. So I've gone for Ollie Watkins. Why not? He's just been so good for us. Not just the goals. He scored more goals for us than anyone in the Premier League season for, I think, 20 years, and he's got loads of assists to go with it. He's scored important goals. He's helped other players, and for me, he's got to be player of the season.
I didn't go for Ollie Watkins, but I didn't go for Cole Palmer either.
Oh, I thought you would.
I actually agree with who was given player of the season.
I
Phil Foden.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I just think, I think at the start of the season, I think people were thinking, where does he fit in to this Man City team? And I think he proved so many people wrong. He scored quite a few goals. He's assisted quite a few goals. And I think he's improved. I think he's improved greatly, and I'd be very, very surprised if he doesn't start for England in that first group game.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's brought something to Man City this season where they haven't played very well. He's sort of been he's that sort of connection between the midfield and Haaland, really, and he's struck up a good partnership with him. So
to stand out in a team that contains Haaland, De Bruyne.
I mean, exactly. Yeah, I mean,
So I
mean, to say that he's had a better season than De Bruyne seems mad to say when you say it, but he generally has. Yeah.
Okay, manager of the year could have very easily gone for Emery, but again, I didn't want to give every award to Villa. I thought it might be a bit biased, so I have gone for Sean Dyche for the same reasons that Everton got biggest overachievers. Really.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I went for Emery for exactly the same reason.
Nice,
for the overachieving thing. Yeah.
I mean, Dyche, I think he's gone into a club that's just in free fall, and he's not just stopped it, but he's made them much better. We knew he was going to sort of tighten them up at the back. I don't think anyone realised just how well he'd do. Their defensive record has been really good this season. So, I think he deserves it, but I'll happily take it for Emery. So. Okay, the award. So this is for you to tell me, Chris, and I'm going to do a version for Villa. So this is the award for the Chelsea player that you wish still played for Chelsea. So I'll let you go first with this one.
This was difficult. I'm not going to lie.
I just thought you might say Lukaku, to be honest, but we covered that already. So.
No. Who did you go for Villa?
So for Villa, I went for Philogene because he had a really good year in the Championship. So I went for Jadon Philogene because I didn't want him to go anyway. He had a good year in the Championship, and I thought, especially towards the end of the year where we had so many injuries, I thought he could have made a real difference. Could have gone for Grealish, but he's not been on good form, and I think there's been a few rumours about him coming back next season. I don't think he walked straight into the starting 11. I think it'll be close. Don't get me wrong, but with Bailey playing as well as he has this year with the RB, I don't know whether Grealish comes back and just waltzes straight in. So I won't see him sit on.
I'm torn between. I've got Mo Salah and De Bruyne.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the list of ex-players contains.
We let both of them go. So. Yeah. I don't even know who I'd actually rather have. Such a difficult. I'll say De Bruyne.
Yeah.
But yeah, he played. There'll be people that don't really realise that he actually did play for Chelsea.
He didn't.
Although he was terrible. Absolutely terrible for Chelsea. But Yeah, I'll
Okay.
say De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. So I changed the name of this because it was originally quite rude. So I've gone for Wind Up Merchant of the Year for the final award. I think it's between two players, so I've gone for Neil Maupay just because he's been an absolute terror against everybody this season. He was a substitute warming up, blocking free kicks. He came on and just started
Doing dart celebrations in front of James Maddison.
all that kind of stuff, and then even to right to the end of the season, his Instagram posts about Anthony and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'll go for Neil Maupay.
Yeah, I actually didn't go for a player or a team. I went for VAR.
Yeah, actually win on that. I'm going to change mine. Yeah, well done. No VAR.
Yeah.
It was wound everyone up, hasn't it? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's wound me up endlessly recently. I mean, yesterday again, with a Stonewall penalty not given because they said they'd gone with the decision that the referee gave because it wasn't clear and obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't clear and obvious to him, but it was clear and obvious to everyone else. And then 4 or 5 days ago when we played Brighton, Lamptey knocks one of the Mudryk out pretty much, and he doesn't even get anything for it.
No.
Absolute madness. Absolute madness.
You VAR, stop VAR altogether.
I just think if they're going to use it, they just need to use it properly, and there needs to be a small set of rules put in place. I mean, I'd have rid of it if it was me, but there's going to be people out there that like the idea. I think it's the goal celebrations for me.
Yeah.
I think that's the ones that kind of kill it. I mean, if you're in the stadium, I think it's probably even worse.
Yeah.
When a goal goes in, because you're like, do I actually celebrate? Yeah. Do I not?
Yeah.
That's the difference between when I go and watch the Oval play. I haven't got to worry about any of that.
Exactly. It's much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
No, I think they've got to make some serious revisions. I don't mind keeping it, but I'd like it to be for the referees either not seeing a punch in the face, or he sent the wrong player off, or like it was used in the West Ham Man City game. Like Souček has punched the ball in the back of the net. For whatever reason, the referee hasn't seen it and he's given the goal. And then VAR has said, no, he's definitely punched it, ruled it out. That's what it should be used for, like the black and white. I don't like it being used for offsides, but I get why they do, because, you're either offside or you're not. But to be offside by a toe, I think it's a little bit harsh. But for these handball claims and, there is contact, but is it enough to send...
I understand, like, having a review for a penalty, don't get me wrong, and a review for someone going in 2-footed on someone. Yeah. I understand that.
Yeah.
I think it's the same with you. It's the offsides. I don't know how they get around it.
Yeah. Long as well, and the lines and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I just think, there's got to be a better way to do it. The thing is, I am in favour of technology, but
yeah. I mean, it's got to be used correctly.
Yeah, you're too reliant on it, and it's just it's taking too long. So I think I'd like them to get rid of it until they get it working properly.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't like to keep it like it is now until they find a better way. I'd like them to say, next season, we're not going to use it at all. We're going to go away. We're going to test it. We're going to see what we can come up with that's better. And then
even for offsides, if the linesman gives it, check it. If he doesn't give it, then it must be that close that if the eye can't see it, then it must be close.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, and if it goes to clear and obvious, if someone is clearly offside, then that's fine. But if it's someone's little big toe keeping someone on or offside, it just don't make much sense. I mean, the amount of times this season where I've gone, well, how is that not a penalty? How is that player not being sent off?
Yeah.
and this is just Chelsea games. This isn't, how many decisions there must be in all the games per weekend. I mean, we must be looking hundreds, not thousands, of decisions VAR have made this season. But yeah, I think goal line technology. I mean, it's so simple and it works. That's what I mean. It just seems like if they could have something like that, then maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of our
The award ceremony is over.
Yeah.
We're all, very tired.
Very tired and
tired season. And now we're all going back to Neil Malpay's house.
Yeah. Yeah.
To play some dance.
Rasmus Højlund has been...
James Madison's not been invited.
James Madison's not playing some darts, no.
Cool. That's it for this week. That's it for the season as well, isn't it, Liam, I guess. We are going to come back over the summer to do some Euros podcasts.
Yeah,
I think we said we'll wait for the group games to finish. Hopefully we're not out.
Yeah.
If we are, then we're not going to be doing well.
Yeah. We can get excited for now. Now's the nice, exciting period before.
Yeah, I mean, we can't be that far off finding out the teams. Because a lot of the other nations have already done it. So I really don't understand the...
Is it tomorrow? He's announcing, I think.
Is it tomorrow, is it? I mean, I think Holland and France did theirs last week, didn't they? Before the season had even finished, so...
I'm just going to have a quick Google. When do England announce?
If it is tomorrow, he's probably on the phone to someone right now telling them the good or bad news.
He's going to name a training squad tomorrow. And he's going to name his final 26 on June the 8th.
How many is he taking for the training squad?
No idea.
Surely there's only 26 names he can think of.
No idea.
I mean, 26 is still a lot of players. I mean, to me, that seems like a lot of players going and not playing any minutes whatsoever. Some people are going to get a free holiday this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there'll be almost half of them we already know. I mean, we all know he's got his favourites. And you can actually pick Maguire this time, because Maguire's actually played.
He's played all right.
The majority of the last 5-6 months, Maguire's been playing. He's probably been the only Man United defender that's actually been fully fit. So we all know he's going to be there. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I don't know how many he's going to name in this training squad. That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But yeah.
2 o'clock tomorrow to look forward to.
Okay. So we'll be back, I guess, what's the date today? Like, in a month's time, maybe? A month, maybe 5 weeks? I'm not sure when I think it all starts on the 14th of June, doesn't it? So,
yeah.
It's going to be towards the end of June, I would have thought, when the next one comes out. But, we will be back then.